Hello everyone, it's Seb here, and in this unique tutorial I will reveal 3 little known steps the pros use to make screeches sound great in their songs. And you now have a chance to copy that and get the same brilliant results, so stay with me to the very end and let's get into it. Now, mostly used in hardstyle and rawstyle music, screeches come in a wide variety such as hoover screeches, high screeches, low screeches, distorted screeches and so forth. And these days, they are an absolute must to have in your songs if you are making hardstyle or rawstyle. But what if you have difficulties to fit these screeches perfectly in your mix? Or what if you struggle to make them sound interesting in your song so you can keep the attention of your audience? And this can be a very frustrating problem for many of you, and that's why I've created this special video. Now, my apologies if you hear any background noises. I've currently moved to a different location with a different environmental setting. So I hear birds, I hear dogs, I hear the neighbors moving chairs, and it all ends up in my recording because I'm here on a laptop. But still I want to make videos for you guys, so that just comes with it. Now let's keep things going. So in 3 easy to follow steps you will finally nail it and be able to make clean and exciting screech intros and outros once and for all. Therefore let's focus on tuning a screech, mixing a screech and using a screech in a song. So pay close attention as you don't want to miss a thing. By the way, I'm not going to explain how to make a hardstyle screech from scratch. I've already got tons of tutorials on my channel, so be sure to check them all out after this one. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm assuming you want to use screeches in the intros and outros of your song. However, don't feel obligated and feel free to experiment by putting them into the break or even the climax of your track. For now, we will just start with a hardstyle screech sample that you can find in my hardstyle sample pack. And if you haven't yet, download it now by clicking the link in the description below. Inside you will find many crazy screeches you can use immediately. Once you've got it, let me play the screech one time and then let's begin. Step 1. Tuning. Find and use the right key. And what most of you guys forget to realize is that any instrument, whether we're talking about screeches or not, is built on a certain key. This means that if you are using a screech sample, the sample is created on a particular note. And if you don't match this note exactly with your track, you can mess it up and ruin the flow. So if you don't want to mess this up, make sure to match the screech's key with the root note of your song. And for hardstyle and rawstyle, this means that the screech typically follows the same note as the kick. So generally the kick stays on the same note throughout the intro and outro. For example, if your kick plays a G note, you want to make sure your screech is tuned to a G note as well. And this ensures the harmonics line up and don't cause any musical errors, which could occur if you don't do this. And I know what you think, so Seb, how do I get the screech on the same key as my kick? And let me give you a very effective trick that most people don't know about. Open your screech sample in the audio editor of FL Studio, which is Edison. Then in Edison, right click on the waveform, select Regions and click Detect Pitch Regions. Then just read the labels at the top of the sample to find the key of the screech. Now this trick works 9 out of 10 times, but it can be a little bit more difficult if the screech has a pitch movement. Then you have to guesstimate at which point in this pitch movement the tone reaches its baseline value. And this can be in the beginning, middle or end of the sound. Now, it can take some practice and experience, but you will get it right most of the time. So just try it out and don't forget to use your ears, because you can teach yourself to recognize when keys are slightly off. By the way, if you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, like root notes, the key of G and so forth, start first by getting some basic musical understanding. And for this precise reason, I've released the ultimate melody guide that you can obtain by clicking the link in the description below. Many people have already read it and it's all you really need to get started, so go ahead. Now, once you know the key of your screech, you must match it with the key of your kick. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by opening the screech in the sampler and then use the pitch function. The pitch function can change the key of your sample higher or lower. Thereby, 100 cents increase means moving up the pitch by 1 key. And vice versa, 100 cents decrease means moving down the pitch by 1 key. So for example, if your kick plays on the key of F and your screech plays on the key of G, you have to lower the screech by 2 notes to get it to an F. So you start at a G, then move it down to F sharp and then F. This is a decrease of 2 times 100 cents, which is negative 200 cents. And again, get the ultimate melody guide if you don't know about notes and intervals. to spare you having to do all this, every sample in my free sample pack, link below, already has the key in its name. So this way you can immediately spot the note each sample is built on. Now finally, you also must tell FL Studio about the new root note of your Screech. And this is needed to sync the Screech correctly with the piano roll. Now to do that, open the Screech in the sampler, then select the envelope tab and right click on the correct note in the piano layout at the bottom. This will set the root note of the Screech. So for example, if you have an F Screech, after applying the pitch function, right click the F note on the piano. And similarly, if you have an A Screech after applying the pitch function, right click the A note on the piano. So the key of the Screech will now correspond with the right notes on the piano roll. Now this is all there is to it, and you only have to apply this to your own project. But one last thing. If you are using the pitch function, you may want to experiment by changing the mode. The mode sets the pitching algorithm, and setting it to a different one may produce surprising results. Step 2. Mixing. Remove some lower frequencies. One big mistake I see most of you guys make is forgetting to EQ your screeches. If you don't do this, certain frequencies may clash with some of the instruments in your song, and this can hurt the quality of your mix. Now, to prevent this from happening and to make sure your screeches stand out, you have to clean up the lower frequency region. You see, the lower frequencies are the territory of the kick drum. The kick drum eats up all the headroom here, so your mix is better off by removing them from your screeches. And this will immediately create room for your sounds to breathe. So the easiest way to fix this is by sending your Screech to a free mixer track and add an equalizer. Then simply use the equalizer to remove some of the lower frequencies. Therefore, you can choose to use a high pass band and locate the cutoff point anywhere between 90 to 300 Hz. It really depends on how it sounds in your mix and which type of Screech you're dealing with. Just listen to your track while moving the cutoff point, of your equalizer that is, and simply stop when the low noise rumble goes away. That should be about right and directly clean up any low frequency problems. Here's an example. If you want to learn more effective mixing strategies like this, just start with the EDM mixing guide. This is another special guide I've written to help you mix like a pro with 12 powerful rules. I'll put a link in the description below as well, so check it out. Step 3. Song building. Make a nice rhythm and variations. Now the last thing many of you forget to create are interesting rhythms and variations. You see, your songs need interesting rhythms and variations to keep the attention of your audience. And moreover, they give that professional feel and pushes your music to the next level. So if you want to get there, be creative with your screeches. Now in one of my other tutorials, I've already showed in more detail how to make appealing screech rhythms and variations. So if you haven't watched it yet, I'll put a card here somewhere. And that's why for this video, let's keep it brief and quickly explore a few promising song building strategies. I've already prepared a short snippet for you that we are going to use as an example here. So it goes something like this. So what are the key strategies to get results like this? First, open the piano roll to draw some notes, and the way you draw the notes dictates the rhythm of your screech. And thereby feel free to follow the next 4 guidelines to make your screech sound sensational. 1. Now, as we've talked about in step 1, it's a good idea to put your screech at the same key as your kick drum. This forces tonal consistency, and thereby you could experiment by using different octaves. A higher or lower octave changes the pitch of your screech, but still keeps it at the right key. However, depending on the screech, you could use different notes as well, but keep in mind it's quite uncommon to make actual melodies with screeches. They are usually organized in a straightforward manner, if you will, which keeps your intros and outros more serious. 2. Use different note lengths and timing intervals, so vary between longer and shorter notes and try to make a creative rhythm. Thereby, don't be afraid to experiment with very short notes and much longer notes in an alternating fashion of some sort. Also, don't place every note exactly on beat, but change it up a little. 3. Make variations in your rhythm at the end of each 8, 16 or 32 beats. This is a natural place to shake things up and create a more exciting track. Though, if you want to push it to another level, you could also use automations. Automations can create sound movements for special effects. So this way you can add crazy twists and tweaks to your screeches at specific times, which is perfect for badass variations. 4. Now use multiple screeches together and alternate them while still applying the other 3 guidelines. An alternation will create much more diversity and uniqueness, so use them in a way that if one plays, the rest are silent. So give each screech a small moment in time to shine, and then try to build an exciting rhythm with all the screeches working together. And this is the ultimate screech building formula. Again, these are guidelines and not set in stone rules. However, you may find them surprisingly helpful, so absolutely give them a go. There you have it. These are the 3 main steps the pros use to make screeches sound great in their songs. And all you have to do is simply copy that so you can get the same brilliant results. So step 1, use the right key. Step 2, remove some lower frequencies. And step 3, create interesting rhythms and variations. Now go apply it and rewatch this video as much as you need. Also, make sure to look in the description box right now to get your free downloads and special music production guides. So go ahead while they're still live, and I'll see you in the comment section.